Hey everyone, I'm going to do something different today as I get ready um, and just talk about anything. Um, Usually, when I'm kind of like in my own thoughts, it's like you get a lot of, I guess, downloads. So I'm going to put on my sunscreen, that's most important. Um, I'm doing this today because I've decided that I don't, I need to pamper myself more. A lot of people think maybe exercise or something. Yes, exercise is great, but doing things that make you feel good um, is important. And I often forget to take care of those little things and, really focus on that, what makes you feel good. And often people find external things to make them feel good. And to be honest, it's from within. Because if you're not getting externally, you're always going to be disappointed, right? You need to find things that make you good from within, what makes you happy from within. So, that's my thoughts. Let this sit in a little more. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about self-validation, and it's interesting because I grew up in a household of narcissists. My mother is very insecure, and so she sets her how do I say this? Her insecurities onto us. And yes, parents do that when they haven't dealt with their own insecurities. They unintentionally put it onto their kids to fix them, or to just lash out and just kind of unintentionally passing their wounds onto their kids. And so it's hard, when you're in a household and you're a child and you're trying to be in a healthy environment and you're not, and you build that that insecurity from your parents. And so I won't go into different trauma responses, but it builds all that fear and doubt. And so when people are looking externally, it shows that there's a lot of trauma that was built in, and I'm very observant when I'm around the environment and my friends, and I pick up cues. But because of my upbringing, I had to, the way I regulated myself when my mom or my sisters, they're narcissists too, I shut down. I observe. And the way I survive is don't speak up. When I speak up, believe me, I do. narcissists will always twist the story, and they make you doubt yourself, your self-worth. And that's what I'm saying is I've built this protective mechanism where I wasn't able to be myself. I had to regulate them. Like I had to keep the peace, so I kept quiet. To earn my mom's love. She made me the scapegoat, and my twin sister. I have a twin sister, and she made basically my twin sister became the golden child, meaning she got away with a lot of things, bad things, whatever she wanted, she got it. I got nothing. My mom worked my ass off. No matter what I did, wasn't good enough. I tried to earn my mom's love unintentionally, but you're a kid, right? You try to earn your parents' attention. So I thought, okay, if my sister was bad, then I'll do good. Wasn't good enough. Got good grades, wasn't good enough. When I said not good enough, my mom worked me harder. Meaning, do more chores, do my sister's chores. Whatever I did was just intensified. So that's my point, is that people look at things externally, and it doesn't create a healthy environment. 1 second. And so it's that self-awareness that a lot of people don't have. They think that they came from a good environment. Yes, there are parents that have been there for their kids, but what I'm trying to explain to you is, from my point of view, from a narcissist family, that a lot of people don't have that. Another thing is, there are families that parents are there for you, but maybe they're not emotionally there for you. Think about that. Sometimes they're there for you, but they have like their issues. Anyway, that's another story I want to explain. Oops, sorry, can't get any of this out. So that's what I'm saying is about the whole people are looking for external validation, and so I have friends that are constantly like looking for activities and stuff, things to do, but then I realize, like, depends on what kind of friendship you want. I realize that those are the friends I only can separate myself and just do things. Just to do activities with them. And because I realize, like, when I really want an in-depth sort of conversation, they disappear. So I'm just so in my role in their relationship, between that relationship, I'm just the person to do activities with. And it took me a long time to figure this out, because I was like, what is my worth, like, towards other people? I didn't get it, like, where are they when I needed them? And it tore me apart, and then I had to think about this further, that everyone has different qualities about them. And so I had to learn that. Took me a long time to figure that out. And I have to learn to set my boundaries too. Oops. Because I couldn't understand. I forgot I had extra foundation. I had to understand that not everyone has the capacity to think like you. I used to think like that too. We're like, why aren't people thinking like this? I thought everybody thought the same. No, I did. And then I spoke to a few other people and they said the same thing too. So it's like, I guess when you get older, the more realization you have. So again, when you're growing up, you were never taught that everyone thinks differently, because parents, everyone has their own upbringing, your parents have their own upbringing. So it made it challenging. So anyway, my point, what I'm trying to get at is, be a little more open, and kind of think about where your friends give you value in your life. And again, you find your own internal happiness first. If you're trying to find it through your friends, that ain't gonna work. Yes, they should be uplifting you. Find people that make you happy and make you grow. Same with relationship, right? But I won't go in that area. So I guess oops. I also understand the different trauma responses too, and it took me a long time to figure that out too, to understand my own responses. I used to shut down a lot. Ooh, I put too much. And because I didn't know I didn't live in a healthy family dynamic, and it took me a long time to understand what is a healthy relationship and what's a healthy environment. I had my instincts that something wasn't right. It's just because the way I grew up I was always wrong. Again, being a scapegoat, narcissist will do that to you. And I'm really talking about a true narcissist, where they don't acknowledge, they don't have any self-accountability, they don't self-reflect. They do a lot of triangulations to make other people believe them, and it's hard where you're not being seen, heard, and valued. So that's the challenging part. And so, where was I getting at? Lost my train of thought. So yeah, I used to hold a lot in, and I never understood how to speak up. I am learning to, well, basically, first thing is acknowledging that you have some childhood issues. It took me a long time to figure that out. I used to blame other people, but now, like I said, people look at external love and validation. That was me before. But, ooh, wrong one. It's it takes a lot of, like, what you do is when you notice the triggers, you have to pause, think, because a lot of people just react, and and when I say react, is that's their inner child screaming and yelling, like, pay attention to me, why aren't you paying attention to me? And believe me, I have exes that scream and yell when you're trying to just, like, express your thoughts, like, hey, I just feel like this, and then they think like you're attacking them. That's because they don't know how to self-regulate themselves. Their inner child, my exes, somehow they weren't able to, I guess they never had that self-regulation, and so that's why their child self, everyone has a child self, is lashing out and screaming. Yes. Women do it too. Not saying men. So it's just interesting, What am I gonna do right now? So yeah, self-regulation is the thing that it's hard. It took me a long time. First is acknowledging it. What triggers you? Take a deep breath. Think about what you just said. And just say, hey, sometimes when it's too much, I said, this is probably not a right time. Let me come back to you when I'm calmer, so I can think better. Other times it's like, if you know that something isn't right and you know that they push the button, just say, hey, I set my boundaries now, like, hey, that didn't feel right, that didn't land right, no, understand that it's not only your point of view, but give them a perspective. A lot of people don't think about what they say and do. They're very, like, in the moment. I guess what I'm saying is, because I grew up in a narcissist family, I tend to think about what I say first, and I didn't understand that other people don't think about that first, so they will just constantly think about them. They were never brought up in a way that they had to think first. So, yeah, it's challenging. Where am I getting at? Sorry. I guess talking and trying to do this at the same time. challenges me more. But I don't know. I mean, I hope that gives a perspective of what it, what makes you feel heard and seen. Um, I just want you to know that to be self-aware that we all grew up in a family household that just because we're in a under the same roof doesn't necessarily we're brought up the same way. It took me a long time. I had a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, but you're family, and this is what family do, and yeah, you're gonna go through a lot of BS." True, but not every family is the same, and it's frustrating that people are gaslighting you, telling you that. So you're saying it's okay to be in an unhealthy environment? No. Normalize the fact that we're all different, we're all brought up differently, and it's and don't disrespect, don't make yourselves feel smaller. Remember that you are loved and valued. Remember that. And it's sad that people will always, like, not always, but majority, because society has trained us to feel like that, and it's not right. So I learned that I'm not the only one that have removed themselves from family. It First I did a lot of distancing. Because I've tried so many times to communicate with them on a rational level. I tried so many different ways, and it never worked because they never worked on themselves. You gotta remember that when people haven't worked on themselves, their internal selves, their internal wounds, let me correct that, they will never see you. They're working on their inner wounds, so the value will never, they will never value you. They value only themselves. And so, it's challenging when people, so that's why I mentioned, like, oops, oh crap. I'll do that later. Understand where you're placing your values when you're around friends. I'm using friends for now. Because it took me a long time to, I did it wrong. To figure out where my worth was. Yeah, too. So I had to figure out, like, who is me? And focus on me. Find your own hobby. I don't know, find things that make you happy. Things that, like, I don't know, everyone's different, so I can't really tell you what. I like sports, so I like to play sports, but a lot of team sports, so that's challenging too. But just know that, like, people are just there to play, so. I used to put everyone together in the same category, and I didn't understand, like, oh, I thought we're playing together, so we're friends, right? That's because my inner child thought that I needed people around me, and that's how I validated myself. But that was my inner child wound. I used to make everyone like super close to me because I I I guess I was just looking for like the connection and the love. That's why, you know. So that's why. I don't know if that makes sense, guys. I sorry, it's kind of slow. I wasn't really like. It's hard talking to just the camera and not really getting sort of like feedback. So maybe next time I'll do a live. If you want to do a live, then I'll just like talk about those kind of things. Tell me if you want me to do it on TikTok or on YouTube. Alright, guys, I'm going to continue the rest of my face. I feel like I'm talking like forever and slow, so. And usually I can talk faster, but trying to concentrate. I'll see you guys later. Bye.